Right, good evening. I'm talking for the motion, as you may have guessed. First thing, everything we do in relation to this particular motion is within the constraints of the law. That's both legal, decent, honest, truthful, and data protection legislation and so on. And we've got to remember that marketing works best when it works with the laws and the way that society works. If you run against that, you might get a fleeting success, but it will be a Pyrrhic victory. What we really believe is that if you use all the data available to you, you can deliver a better customer experience, you can make more money, which allows you to develop better products and service your customers better, and you will reduce waste. And waste is not only stuff that goes into landfill. If your business is creating stuff that goes in a hole in the ground unnecessarily, you're in a bad place. It's also stuff that goes into the sky because you're using energy unnecessarily. So to pursue this argument, I've got 3 quick examples. No one's mentioned behavioural targeting yet, so I'm going to go to the pub. Many years ago, when I first moved to the small market town I live in, my wife and I, which was my girlfriend then, used to go down the road to the pub. We go for a walk, go to the pub. No children, you can do those kind of things. After going to the pub sort of 2 or 3 times a week for a month when we moved there, it got to the point where the bar staff would know that it was a pint of bitter and a gin and tonic. They didn't know who I was. They never asked my name. I didn't know who they were. They just knew that was what I wanted. And on a Friday night, that's really useful that a man has got a jug with a handle, filled it with IPA before you've even got your wallet out. That's, before Tim Berners-Lee, that's a crude form of behavioural targeting. It's delivering them more beer sales. It's delivering me more beer. All quite good things. The fact that behavioural targeting is with us, the fact that it uses all sorts of strands of technology is nothing new. It's about the fact that they were using it for my advantage and something that could deliver me benefit. Now, should this be stopped? Well, I agree with Michael in lots of ways. We have to be very wary of dancing to an American-based privacy drum. The US has no real data protection legislation. Lots of the lobbying angles we see online and get affected by are really things that come from an environment where there's no legal regulation of how data is used. We've got the man at the end there and a good set of laws, and it works really quite well. Don't confuse where it comes from. Quick diversion into the electoral roll. The electoral roll used to be available for marketers to use, and I remember the days when people used to mail the whole of the electoral roll. We might think that's a bloody stupid thing, but in those days someone thought that buying an ad in the middle of Coronation Street was a way of doing TV advertising because there was only one channel. That was a bit daft as well, but we've all moved on. The electoral roll has been restricted in use. There's an edited version because you can tick and say, I don't want my details used for marketing. We should really cross the border and turn around and say, you should never use electoral roll data for marketing, but the whole file should be available for us to make sure our data is clean, up to date and efficient, because that way there's less waste, there's more efficiency, better customer experience, less stuff going into a hole in the ground. The fact that train operating companies are allowed to do that, but marketers aren't, is a slightly bizarre anomaly in the law that I've never really understood. My final example comes back to the subject of dead people that Michael touched on. The government has a comprehensive list of people that died. It's the General Register Office ran it. Dead people are not individuals in the eyes of data protection, because to have personal data you have to be a living individual, and you're clearly not alive if you're dead. So good marketers, like all of us in this room, will pay a lot of money to companies who have compiled lists from various sources, from funeral directors and bits of probate data and so on, to try and screen out deceased people. And it costs a lot of money. It's inexact. There are roughly 170,000 pieces a day of direct mail going to people who are dead because there is not access to comprehensive data. That's 3,000 tonnes of preventable waste because marketers don't have access to all the data that's necessary to make a cogent and sensible way to deliver better targeted marketing. So I return to our main theme. Responsible use of data allows us to give a better customer experience, to improve our business and therefore improve the products and services we give clients and customers, and it reduces waste. What's there not to like about supporting the motion? Thank you.